Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on Haus Laboratories, which is Lady Gaga's brand. Most of this is going to be a first impressions. The only thing I've tried out is one of the shades in her Glam Attack cream formula in my last video. So before we get into the products, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. So here is the Glam Room palette. There are some nice everyday tones. It's not the most exciting palette I've ever seen. I do get why she released this one first, because you get everything you kind of need in here. I think all her palettes are going to be like this kind of an idea. Glam Room 2, Glam Room 3, things like that. But I'm excited to see what other glam rooms she comes out with. I hope they become a little bit more unique to her brand. I also received 3 of these Glam Attack. She has 2 different types of these Glam Attacks. So the Glam Attack's Liquid Shimmer Powder formula, as well as these ones right here, the Glam Attack All Over Metallic Cream. This was the formula I've tried out before in my last video, and I was really in love with it. And then I have her 2 eyeliners. I have the brown one as well as the black. They're both felt tips and they're quite a unique shape. I've never seen like a felt tip that long. I'm excited to try it, we'll see. I do usually prefer brushes, I've found, but I'll give it a try. And then I have 3 of her glosses, the Le Riot lip glosses, and I have 3 shades in her lip liners. Off the bat, just my first impressions, separating Lady Gaga from her brand because I am a huge fan of Gaga. I'm gonna be reviewing these products as they are, not because I love the person who created the brand. First of all, I think the packaging was a little bit surprising. I thought she was gonna do something a lot more out there or a lot more unique to her. I kind of feel like this is kind of basic packaging. This matte black to like this clear plastic. I don't know why, it feels like kind of like drugstore components to me. And also, this one is super leaky. So like, I only swatched this and it's already like crazy leaking. If it's on its side, it leaks all over and gets all messy. So that's my only critiques as of right now. The packaging doesn't really draw me in, but with that said, packaging isn't everything. What really matters is if the product is good. So let's get into the products. I think I'm going to first start off with the eyes. Let's do this. So I'm really not sure with which direction I want to go in. I kind of want to do something that suits her brand as well as my style, because her style, from what I see on her Instagram, is either really messy makeup or really structured, sharp looks with unique shapes. I really admire what her brand stands for. It's always what she stood for. Whatever makes you feel confident, whatever makes you feel most like you, even if that's a lot of makeup or a little makeup, I think that's really good. I'm first gonna start off with the Glam Room palette, and I'm probably gonna use the most basic shade, this one, just to like kind of map out the look and get a feel for the formula and things like that. And I'm gonna take that on this Smith 232 brush. I'm just going to put that in the crease. So now I'm gonna take a smaller brush and I'm gonna start defining the crease a little bit more, and I'm gonna be using this warm brown shade right here with the Nabla pointed crease brush. And for that, I'm gonna really look straight into my mirror so I can see where I want the most definition. And that's just a little bit above my crease, since my crease kind of gets hidden. So far, the matte formula is really nice. It's building nicely on top of each other. These neutral shades are a little bit warmer than I would usually go for. I kind of like more neutral shades. I find sometimes warm tones kind of make my eyes get lost. I don't know. So here's the base of the crease. I'm not done deepening it up, but I want to add my shimmer shade first. Don't know which formula I'm going to use. Here, I'm going to swatch all of the shades I have. Yeah, this packaging is extremely leaky and messy. I'm not a fan of that at all. So here are all of the liquid shadows. So up here are the all over metallic creams, and the bottom ones are the liquid shimmer powders. So I've noticed some inconsistencies with this formula right here. The gold one is super patchy and it does not go on smoothly. This one is the only one that is smooth and opaque upon first application. This one is okay, it's just a bunch of glitter and it's still a little bit patchy. I so far am a bigger fan of this formula up here. You can see that it's very consistent and opaque upon first application and things like that. this formula I'm not super impressed by, but these shades are absolutely stunning. This is the one I used in my last video and I absolutely loved it. I'm kind of eyeing up this one. It's the Glam Attack All Over Metallic Cream in Glamour Puss. So I think I'm just going to scoop a little bit of that on my hand first just to get like a base going. And I'm going to be using this A2 brush from Anastasia, and I'm just going to pick up some of that pile I have here. And I'm gonna like start carving out the crease, I guess. Who am I? I don't think I rarely ever do cut creases. So a trick is to add some on your lid and look up, and then you kind of get an idea of where to carve it. Oh, I just got an idea. I'm gonna try out the shimmer, the other formula on my eye as well. I'm gonna take that more pinky shade, this one right here, and kind of do that on the little negative space part. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so messy. It's only this formula right here. It's very thin. It's very watery, so you can, it's like it almost looks like a gloss. So I think that's why it leaks out of the packaging. This is a Smith 205 brush. At this point, you guys are probably like, this girl's crazy, but trust me, I have a vision and it's gonna work out. Now that I kind of mapped out the top, I'm gonna be adding a big black liner right here, so that doesn't matter, I can fix that later. I'm just gonna start defining the crease a little bit more. I'm taking my Tweezerman line glider brush, first going in with that deeper brown, and I might even add a little bit of black to this depending on how much I can build this up. And I'm gonna take the line glider with the tip because it's kind of like the most unique shape. See, this is the shape of the brush, and I'm taking that point of it to kind of hug this and blend out the line. And I'm slowly gonna add a little bit of black in there just so that we get a deeper version of the brown. I don't know. I'm gonna move on to my eyeliner. So far, I think my eye look is failing. So I'm just going to do just a normal wing, trying to follow this angle right here so they kind of match. This eyeliner is actually really nice. The tip is a little bit flimsy, but it's actually nice because it glides onto your lid so nicely. It doesn't tug at anything at all, and it just makes a really nice even line. And now I'm finally going to be retouching up this part that looks a little odd. So I'm just going to take some of that shimmer stuff and I'm just going to place this in that blank area. And I'm just going to lay a little bit of that onto that red to attempt to blend them in. I think it's getting together. I might have to add a little bit more depth into the crease, but for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this shade from the palette right here. It's a nice shimmer shade. I think I'm gonna slowly add a little bit more depth and kind of make it a little bit thicker. I think that'll make it stand out slightly more. I'm actually really liking how things are turning out. I think what would make it that much better is if I add a thin line of this Angel Baby shade, which is the lighter glittery pink, right on to like kind of cut it a little bit more just to differentiate those two layers even more. So I'm gonna take that on this little brush, this Anastasia A28. I'm stepping out of my makeup comfort zone today, holy moly. I think I regret. Oh, what do you guys think? I think that actually looks kind of nice. It's definitely not my usual style, but it's kind of fun to try something out. Did not wake up thinking I was going to be doing a cut crease today. Usually I'm not a cut crease kind of girl. Now I'm going to do the lower lash line. First, actually, I'm going to take the black shade from the palette, the eyeshadow. I'm taking the line glider, actually. I'm going to take that deepest brown from the palette and kind of bring this all the way across. Wipe off my brush a little and go into the transition brown that we used. Okay, so I'm gonna go do this eye real quick and then I will be back with some mascara and some lashes and we'll move on to the lips. Here are the eyes all finished. I think this turned out way better than I even imagined. I actually really love every aspect of it. The shadows were really nice to blend. The shimmers are nice and impactful. I love the contrast between this kind of a shimmer and the more glittery sheer type shimmer. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is like the latex look of the liner. It's not a matte liner. It has a lot of shine to it. I think that's it. I do prefer myself a matte liner. I feel like it just makes it look a lot more sharp for some reason. This sometimes it can catch the light and make it look a little bit patchy in my opinion, but otherwise I really like this look. Now for lips, she has lip liners as well as lip glosses, and she did come out with a lipstick that I did not receive, but here are the 3 lip liners I got. I'll quickly swatch them. Here are the 3 shades. This one right here is Myth, the second one is Rule, and the last one right here is ARC. I'm not really sure which one I want to use. I'll swatch the glosses and then see if I can come up with a nice combination. It has a really unique doe foot. It actually looks like a ballerina foot, like a point shoe. So here are the 3 shades right here. The last one right here is kind of a clear gloss with some pink and more champagne reflex to it. That one is called Entranced. The middle one is called Attitude, and the pinky one is called Ethereal. I really like the 2 middle shades in here. I feel like that might complement the eye as well. So I'm gonna use that. So the lip liner I'm gonna use is Rule. It's like a nice warm brown. It's kind of has a little bit of brick undertones to it. It's a really nice formula too. It's not tugging and it's really gliding on nicely. And then I'm gonna add that gloss in the shade Attitude. Oh, I like the doe foot on here. It really hugs the lips nicely. I can't tell if the glitter in the gloss is gritty or if my lips are just so freaking dry. I can't really tell. The gloss is a little bit tacky, but it doesn't make those lip lines. But it doesn't have, the gloss doesn't really have the shine that I would really gravitate to for a gloss. It doesn't have like a Glossier or M Cosmetics glow to the lips, but it is just like a nice little sheen. I really like this lip, but I feel like now the more I look at it, I want a little something a little less intense. I'm also curious to try out this lip gloss shade alone without a lip liner. Just curious to see the formula on its own. It doesn't have a smell, it just smells like chemicals kind of. I don't know what I liked better, but I'm just gonna leave it at this one. This one feels quite a bit more tacky. Maybe I put on a thicker layer than the other one, but it's not really my favorite gloss. I kind of feel like it's really sticky, but thankfully it doesn't make those lines. But here's the final look. I think it turned out incredible. I'm so in love with how the eyes turned out. So now let's get into my final thoughts about everything. So I think my top favorites, the things that really stood out to me the most, are definitely the Glam Attack, the metallic cream formulation, the red shade I have on my lid. The thing I love most about it is that once it's set, it stays put. It's like invincible. It takes so much to remove off of my hand, even the swatches or anything like that. So it's really great for my oily eyelids, so I can really trust it. And it looks like the glitter shade acts the same way. It hasn't really transferred yet, just a few glitters have, which is what I would expect anyway since it is glitter. Other than that, I'm really impressed with the lip liner formula. I love these 3 tones I have as well. I think the one I'll use the most is the one I used today, the shade Rule, just because it is that kind of brown brick tone and I really like those tones. This formula was really nice. I really liked how it glided on and it didn't tug or anything like that. But those are my 2 favorites. of the brand. I'm really interested to see where she takes her Glam Room palettes. This one is a really nice neutral palette. The only shades I don't really see myself using out of this palette are these two purpley shades. I'm just never a fan of purples on myself. I think it's a great neutral palette to have for your brand. I feel like every brand needs a good neutral palette, and this is it. You get everything you would need. I'm really excited to see something really unique to her brand and that truly feels like Gaga to me, because if I just opened this up without knowing this was her brand, I would never put her name on this palette. I don't know, it does not seem like her at all, but I do get why she came out with a neutral palette. The formula was really nice. The mattes performed beautifully. I didn't really get a good idea for the shimmers today, sadly, so I'm gonna have to update you on that, but they seem quite nice. It looks like she has a few different formulas in here. I'm just swatching a few. It seems like she has some more glittery finishes and some more sheer finishes, as well as like just a nice satin. So here's a few. This purple one is like a black based, which kind of gives some nice depth, and has some like fuchsia sparkles in there as well as purple. That shade is actually quite unique. This one too, I'm always a big fan of like those orangey shades that shift to a really nice pink. This brown one is really nice. It looks like the browns I would reach for every day when I want just a brown toned look. So the formulation is really good and it's there. I would recommend this if you are into these tones, but for me personally, I don't think it's gonna be like a staple in my collection. I don't really see myself reaching towards this one over a lot of my other palettes that I find a little bit more exciting and unique. For the Glam Attack, the shimmer powder, I do really like the idea of them. I think they're just a little bit too liquidy for this kind of a container. When they're laid down on their side, they kind of get all leaky in here and it gets really messy. Whenever you close the lid, it like over pours on the side and if you're someone who uses a makeup bag every day, it's gonna make a freaking disaster. The formula on the eyes is amazing, but the formula in these containers is a no-go for me. I don't know about these. For the eyeliner, I only tried the black one. I'm actually surprised on how much I actually liked the applicator of this. I thought it was going to be too long and flimsy, but it really surprised me because I was able to just get like an effortless swoop without it skipping or dragging or anything. It was really easy to apply. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's kind of glossy and I prefer a really matte formula. For the glosses, they honestly aren't my favorite. I feel like I'd reach for my Persona M Cosmetics ones as well as my Glossier ones way more over these. These ones didn't really stand out to me. They're just a little bit tacky and shades that I don't see myself really using that too often. So for my final thoughts on the brand as a whole, I'm really excited to see where she takes her brand. I think there is a lot of potential here. I just get the feeling that she's just starting out with like these things that kind of are more universal to kind of everyone. Everyone mostly uses neutrals, and I get why she would launch that first because she is one unique lady and I know she's not afraid to be risque. So I'm excited to see those kind of collections hopefully in the future. But as of right now, I am really impressed with how everything performed today. Nothing was horrible. They're just my preferences when it comes to like the eyeliner finish and the gloss finish and a few other things. I'm really excited to continue to play with some of these products, especially for her shimmer powders, just because I did see those slight inconsistencies when I was swatching them. The gold one seemed a little bit more patchy, whereas the black one seemed really nice and smooth and opaque upon first application. But other than that, I think that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this review was helpful. If it was, please give it a like. It would help me out so much. I'll make sure to link all the products I mentioned in today's video in the description down below. And before I go, I would love for you to subscribe and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!